Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world heavyweight champion and two-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. As always, man, we're ready to do it, ready to have some fun. Take you on a ride, man, let you get your champagne wishes and your caviar dreams here inside the Hall of Fame. Coming off a huge weekend. All out, AEW All Out went down. And I tell you, everybody want to talk about it. Before we even get there, though, man, I just want to praise reality of wrestling right now, man. Reality of wrestling. We're back in business as far as being back on television, which is something that's, yeah, that is, which is really, really cool for me to actually, have a chance to let my young guys, get their piece of the action as well, man. Get a chance to be seen around the world. And I always tell my young guys, that the time on television, it's worth its weight in gold. Somebody's going to be watching. Your bookings are going to go up. You're going to get a chance to live that dream that I lived as far as going around the world. And something for me, I always want to keep special reality of wrestling. Like I said, we like the AAA of pro wrestling. We don't want to be WWE. We don't want to be AEW. We want to produce the best talent for this business that any wrestling, school like I have, out there, man. Right now, we got two that just got signed with ROH, Roxy and Amanda.
Miranda.
Miranda. Both of those guys started right here at Reality of Wrestling. And that right there for me, it's awesome to actually see the growth of what we have started 17 years ago. And to see it right now, I always say overnight success is normally about 15 years. And now we're finally getting a chance to put ourselves out there. But I don't want people to think that, I did it by myself. Of course, Brad has been along with me. Of course, Kevin Bernhardt, my lovely wife, Queen Charmel. And we got some new people that just came on board down in Dallas. Jason Jarrett, he's the one who came to me with this deal, as well as Jeff Campbell at the CW33 in Dallas. Man, I want to thank those guys, as well as Norm Kaiser at the Right Now TV. I tell you, if it wasn't for guys like that seeing something in our product, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. But I always say, I hate to go to someone with an idea. I'm going to bring you the whole kit and caboodle and say, here it is. If you like it, let me know. And they just happen to like it. And the thing is, guys, this is only the beginning for Reality of Wrestling. I said 2020 was going to be our year. We knocked on the door. I said 2021 was going to be our year. We're tapping on the door. 2022, we're going to kick that son of a gun in. That's what Bums Phillips said back in the day. So I'm so looking forward to this journey that Reality of Wrestling is getting ready to partake.
I mean, it's crazy to see that lineup of stations that we're going to be a part of. Of course, our home state of Texas, in multiple markets in Texas, I think 4 or 5 markets in the state of Texas, including Dallas, starting September the 18th. Dallas, Lufkin, and Tyler. We start September the 18th. That's just next weekend, not this one upcoming, but the next weekend. Then October, we roll out to almost 50 markets nationwide. And Reality Wrestling's always been the flagship of Texas wrestling, and now all coasts, BT, can see what we do down here in Texas City. And also, again, a big shout out to everyone that you mentioned for making it possible on the television side. But also, we got to give a big shout out to everyone in the chat and all the subscribers to the Reality Wrestling YouTube channel for fueling the for fueling the show for the last 2 years. I mean, we've been off traditional terrestrial television for about 2 years. And we've of course had great partners like Fight TV, and Mike Weber over there at Fight TV, who's always been great to us. And then everyone on our YouTube channel, almost 500,000, more than 500,000 people subscribe to this channel. 128 million views on the channel as a total, and only growing every single day. It'll be 150 by this time next week. So, shout out to the chat, and all the subscribers for supporting Reality Wrestling. Because trust me, when somebody goes to YouTube and they pull up Reality Wrestling, they're looking at those numbers if they're thinking about putting us on television, right? Yep. So everybody, y'all all played a big part in it.
Oh man, like I say, I'm so looking forward to this journey, man. And I know my guys, man, right now that they're ecstatic. And there's so many guys out there that want to, find that launching pad to get to that next level. I had the Global Wrestling Federation when I came up, and that 2 years, almost 2 years that I spent in the Global Wrestling Federation in Dallas, Texas, on ESPN television on a weekly basis. Sometimes I was on there 3-4 days a week. I didn't care how many times I had to wrestle in one night. I just wanted to be on TV. I said, somebody's going to see me and pick me up. And that's exactly what happened. And that's what we're trying to do with young people that want to springboard their way into this business and get to that next level. I really think reality of wrestling is that spot for those guys. And the thing is, places like ROH, places like, Impact, AEW, as well as WWE, they can't take all the talent. You know what I mean? There's so much young, independent talent out there that's looking to be utilized. Guys, make Reality of Wrestling your home. Go to realityofwrestling.com. Get in touch with Kevin Bernhardt. Submit your videos and make your way. Make that trek to Texas and be a part of the road, because we're growing. And the thing is, people have been asking me also over the today. What about Houston? I don't see Houston on that list. Well, guys, deals are being signed daily. So just stay tuned, man. And hopefully we're going to have some more good news coming for you guys about Reality of Wrestling here very, very soon.
Yeah, and if you want to see the full list, you can go over to Booker's Twitter. We're also going to post it on realitywrestling.com. I mean, markets all around the country, including Atlanta, Georgia, Las Vegas, Nevada, Albany, New York, Los Angeles, California, Salt Lake City, Utah, Columbus, Ohio, Knoxville, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. I mean, Book, we're everywhere. We're everywhere right now. So I'm sure Reality Wrestling is playing in your area somewhere. So thank you again for everyone's support. And like you said, who knows what we're going to announce tomorrow?
No, man, that's what this thing's about, man. Like I say, I've been humbled because, like I say, I always said I knew I wasn't going to be able to do this thing myself, just to give Jathan Jarrett, Jeff Campbell at CW33 in Dallas, as well as Norm Kaiser at Right Now TV, just to give those guys their props for making this thing happen. And guys, it's going to get bigger and better and better and better. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to what we could create here in Texas. We've done a great job over this last few years making Reality of Wrestling, like you say, that flagship. But I just feel like it's so much more. It's so much more meat left on that bone to actually pick, man. And like I say, guys, all you guys in the chat, like I say, that that's a part of the Reality of Wrestling YouTube channel. You guys are a big part of making this thing happen. We appreciate you.
We love you.
Yeah.
We love you like family.
Yeah. But I know people want to talk, man. People want to talk about AEW. What? Well, go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is, I don't know if you saw, but earlier on today, you teased a big announcement on Twitter. And I don't know, did you see all the responses to what people thought you were going to announce? Did you see it?
I did.
People were like, uh-oh, we're about to get the tweet, Booker T is all elite.
I don't know, man. The tweet I saw was waiting for your critical view of AEW All Out. That's the tweet I recognized out of that whole thing. I'm like, come on, man. What? Since when have I become Mr. Negative, man?
I don't know.
Mr. Negativity. Since when have I become that guy, man? Because my thing is, even though I work for WWE, and the thing is, that's my team. Okay. Sure. It's just like, if it was the Houston Texans, that's my team. I'm riding with them. I'm not going to be, ride with the Washington Redskins. You know what I mean? If I want someone to win in a fight or a battle or a game, it's going to be my team. Right? Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
So, but the thing is, I'm not going to hate on Washington or New York or these teams. You know what I mean? But they just, if when it comes to winning, I want my team to win. It's nothing wrong with that. That's healthy. And for me, talking about AEW, man, those guys, they got something. And for me to just sit there and say, man, they don't, and act like that, I would be totally wrong. And I don't want anyone to get those views of Booker T being that guy, that old guy that's just disgruntled, mad at the world. I got everything out of this business. The business has been great to me. And we just kicked off with reality wrestling. We doing big things down here. So I have no reason to hate on anybody. So we're going to talk about AEW All Out. And critical views, there may be some critical views. There may be. But stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Independent wrestling is full of charismatic persona, incredible athleticism,
Shooting star! Press from pressure cover!
and at times, complete chaos.
Got attention! Don't do it, Will! Oh my gosh! Senton bomb through the table!
This is where the young guys, the young girls come today to pay their dues, to learn the craft, to start the journey to become the next wrestling superstar. I'm WWE Hall of Famer Booker T, and these are the Indies. Can you dig it, sucker? Shoop! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Talking AEW All Out pay-per-view went down this weekend, and I tell you, man, it's been all over the internet as far as what the people thought about All Out. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, Brad. What do we start, man? What do we start?
I want to start by saying it was a great Sunday for professional wrestling, starting with Reality Wrestling live from Dayton, Texas. I want to shout out that crowd at Dayton. That crowd was awesome.
Was that a great crowd or what in Dayton?
They were so great.
Give Dayton, Texas big props because we're going to be going there every month. We're going to be doing a monthly series in Dayton, Texas, Reality Wrestling Live tapings. So guys, when you hear about it, make sure you show up. Make sure you tell somebody about it because next month, same place, same time. It's going to be a great show.
Yes, going to be a great show. So I just want to give Dayton their props. All out. All out. I got to say, Book, they went all out. They went all out for All Out. Mm-hmm. I watched it with no expectations or preconceived notions. There's been a lot of rumors on the internet of what's going to happen at the show. I try my best not to have any of that in my mind and just watch it for the show that they gave me. And what they did on Sunday is what I actually love about pro wrestling is I felt like I watched a full and complete show, right? I feel like I went on a roller coaster of emotions. I had some crazy highs. I had some, emotional lows, right? When intended. I think that they were firing on all cylinders on Sunday. And I think that they turned in, and I don't have any problem saying this, the best pay-per-view AEW has ever done by far.
Okay, you know what? You just summed it up. All right, I'm gonna just say that you just summed it up because everybody at the end of the day was wondering what CM Punk was going to do.
Yes.
Okay, that was the greatest expectation I think for the whole pay-per-view. What is CM Punk going to do? Okay, and that right there, it definitely hooks you. But the rest of the show is something that has to keep you. Now, the thing with this pay-per-view is you had guys like Steen, around Darby Allin, CM Punk, Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan, MJF, Jericho. And you just opened up and you didn't say anything about any of those guys. Only thing you talked about was the show. Now, when we do reality of wrestling, is that what I talk about every single time we do a show?
It's about everybody playing their part.
It's
and we'll
about
have a great show.
if everybody go out and play their part at the end of the night, we will have put on a great show. And I think when you if you're off into going watch shows, I just was in Vegas and I watched the Michael Jackson Cirque du Soleil. It was a production. It was a show. It gave me a little bit of man, that nostalgic feeling that I would have if Michael Jackson was actually there, especially when they did the hologram. So for me, going and watch a show, if I'm talking about how great the show was, we win every single time. And like I say, I've said that 1,000 times as far as reality of wrestling goes. If we go out and do our jobs, we all win at the end of the night. And then what we do is we get ready for the next one.
Yeah.
And I think that's what wrestling has always been. I think back in the day, with WCW, WWE pay-per-views, it was always how it left you feeling. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
We got a couple of super chats.
We do. Let's go to KJ with our first. Oh, I messed it up. Let me hit it again.
Super
There we go. KJ says, do you think Adam Cole will have enough room to shine with all the recent debuts? Well, the way that he was positioned, absolutely. He was positioned as a main event guy with the main event faction.
If Adam Cole wins the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, it'll change the whole name of the game. Just because he's that guy that a lot of people don't think should be playing that role in that position. It would show the diversity of what AEW is all about. I made a statement and somebody had called me on it, and they was talking about Adam Cole, and I said Adam Cole would probably benefit if he went to Japan. Remember I said that?
Yeah.
And the thing is, I still stand by that. Adam Cole perhaps would have benefited going to Japan and then coming back over here and negotiating the contract. It might have been a little bit bigger, maybe not. You never know. But I've also said, when you can get you a job here in America that's paying you good money, opposed to going to Japan, you better take it every day of the week. If I don't have to leave the country to go make money, I'm going to do that. Just like the Good Brothers, I think those guys are happy being here in America and being able to make money. So I talk in general perspective as far as from a business perspective. That's it. Did Adam Cole make the right decision going to AEW? For him, perhaps yes. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely not knocking anything that this young man has done. As well as there again, I said, a guy like Adam Cole, he'll be a great teammate. He'll be a great soldier on anybody's team. So I think Adam Cole, I don't think he's going to get washed out. I think the way AEW work their talent, I think they're trying to make everybody on the roster a star.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the business has always been in the past. Every wrestler in the 90s in WWF and WWE came out of the curtain. They were a star. They brought somebody's ass in a seat in that arena. So that's what I think AEW is trying to do is have all of their stars create, as far as reaching to their fan base only. We get them under one roof at one time, and we all have a big party. That's why I see AEW. I could be wrong.
No, and I think that the way that they've already positioned Adam Cole, and like you said, the way they work their talent, he's gonna be fine. Trust me. And what a ovation he had toward the end of the night. Well, I'm sure we'll get there. Let's look at Real Giannis
Super Chat,
who says, "This was it for me. I am fully on board with AEW. Bray Wyatt, Kevin Owens, honestly, this is great for wrestling. Referring to Kevin Owens' contract is rumored to be up in January. Will he remain in WWE? Will he not? We don't know. Bray Wyatt is a free agent on the market. Conceivably, in the next 6 months, we could see both those guys there. We don't know what's going to happen, but I agree with Giannis on this one. There were certain things about AEW that I was a little always apprehensive about. Some of it was the style, didn't always sit well with me. And but I gotta tell you what, and I think I think I've mentioned this before, but like Young Bucks, I don't want to say I'm late to the party on the Young Bucks because I've seen them do great matches, but sometimes it was always for me like a little too much. But that cage match at All Out against the Lucha Brothers was sensational. And they did a bunch of flip stuff that people criticized them for, but it all made sense within the confines of the story. The Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers went out there and they told one of the best stories I've seen all year, bar none. And the right team won. It's like they set up a story inside of a cage, and traditionally, the babyface is going to win in the cage, right? Now, we've seen it done other ways, and sometimes that's not as satisfying. The right team won. It was gruesome at times with the shoe and the thumbtacks, but the Young Bucks crushed it for me with the Lucha Brothers.
You know what? I've always said the Young Bucks could work, man. What I see different in this war compared to the war that went on, back with WCW in the 90s is a bunch of these guys now, they're nowhere near past their prime or anything like that. All of these guys are really young guys.
Yeah.
It's not like, a bunch of old guys coming over, taking a spot from one of the younger guys or anything like that. When it happened back in the day, it was Hogan, Savage, Warrior. It was all of those guys were, well into their 40s. Now guys are leaving in their 20s, like Adam Cole. That's what's different about this war, as well as AEW building their roster with guys that people still want to see today. I think that's the difference.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. You're right. They're not on the downswing. They're still either in their prime or approaching their prime. I don't think we've seen the best from Adam Cole yet, and that's saying something.
Well, the thing is, we've seen nothing from Adam Cole.
Well, I'm talking about as a
just think about it. Adam Cole right now is almost like he's just coming from the Indies.
He wasn't on the main WWE rosters. What you're saying, he was on the NXT.
I'm not saying that he wasn't a big star or anything like that. What I'm saying is he's still like fresh as fresh could be. It's like when I went from tag team wrestling to singles wrestling, it seemed like I started a whole new career. Like people it was like, whoa, who is this guy? You know what I mean? And I've been around for 10 years, so I'm looking at it from that perspective. So, yeah, man, like I say, it's totally different. It has a different feel to it. And I tell you, man, Mick Foley made some comments, and we definitely got to talk about those comments.
We have to talk about them, but we have a lot of people watching live right now. We're about to go to break, but they all want to know what you thought about one match in particular at AEW. That's the return. That's the return of CM Punk.
Hey, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We're talking AEW All Out here inside the Hall of Fame. Want to give Extreme Shockwave a little shout. He say Booker T's beard is all elite.
Maybe your beard can sign a contract. Would that void your deal?
No, let's see if we can make that happen. I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Well, you know what? So was it Nick Jackson who had the crazy? Did you see his beard? He had the Hogan.
Yeah.
He had the Hogan from '98
Hey
beard.
man, it was painted on.
He painted it on. I get he probably got some of that stuff from Mark Henry.
Mark Henry got a bunch of. Mark Henry, we was doing stuff with WWE backstage. We'd be rehearsing. He'd be full gray. You know, next thing you know, he looked like Gandalf. And then next thing you know, we start to show his beard is blackened and all that. I'm like, are you kidding me, bro? I'm like, come on here, man. What are you using? What's the product?
I don't want no smoke from Mark though. I don't want any of that Mark Henry smoke. You know what I'm saying? I'm making a comment. I'm making jokes. I'm telling
the truth, man. I'm telling the truth. Hey, man.
Hey.
Hey, man. You know what? I use a little product myself.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know,
Ain't
and
nothing
every
wrong
time
with
I use it, looks real good. That henna,
It looks great. Now the people want to know about CM Punk, but before we get there, real quick, super chat here.
He's super chat.
Kane Pacheco says, Booker, are the Lucha Brothers the best tag team?
You know what, man? They might be. You know,
They're definitely in the convo.
And the reason why I say the Lucha Brothers may be the best tag team, because anywhere these guys go, if you let them, they'll get over.
Hell yeah.
And they'll get over.
If you let them.
Well, isn't that what I just said?
Yeah. No, I'm reiterating that statement.
Yeah, I mean, anywhere these guys, and people go, oh, that's why I say, you know, let me say, put an asterisk by that. Anywhere these guys go, if you let them do their thing, they're going to get over with the fans. And they can bring you a whole lot of money to your company, just because people are going to want to support them. They're going to want to see them. Yeah, heck yeah. They might be the best tag team, you know, in the world right now.
So here's our next super chat, and this will lead us into our next topic of conversation. Here is Cali Toenail.
Super chat.
Punk and Darby sat in the ring in the start of the match, and the commentator said, "What a moment." What a moment. Sitting crisscross applesauce. Is that special? I'm not exactly sure what that means. But let's talk about CM Punk. Let's talk about Darby Allin. Let's talk about CM Punk's first match in 7 years. Went down on Sunday. And people want to know. They want to know, what did Booker T think of the match? Because I don't know if you remember, a couple weeks ago, you trended number 2 in the nation. People thought you were being critical, overly critical of one CM Punk due to a promo that he cut. We're not here to relitigate that. We're here to talk about the match, though. That's why people want to know what your opinion is on the match.
Well, even in hindsight, I think if CM Punk would actually probably say, man, I think I could have did a little bit better in that promo. You know what? That's just me. You know, maybe not. But I know me as a professional, I'm very, very critical of myself. And sometimes things don't come across the way I felt like it should have. That's just me as a professional. It's no knock or anything like that. Just like it wasn't a knock on saying that maybe me saying he struck out. Maybe that's what got to me.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Just, you know, in hindsight, maybe I wouldn't have said struck out. You know what I mean? So that's here nor there. But as far as CM Punk making his return to the ring after 7 years, it pretty much went accordingly. Almost, you know, just like I said, you know, it should have gone. I said Darby Allin wouldn't have been the opponent that I would have chosen for certain reasons. We don't really have to talk about that. But I did say with the babyface heel, if you are the heel, you got a good babyface, all you got to do is keep up. Okay. And that's what CM Punk did. All he had to do was keep up with Darby Allin, and everything would be okay in that match. Was it a 5-star match or anything like that? Was it CM Punk's best match he ever had or anything like that? I don't think so, but I don't think anybody coming back after 7 years can go out and have their best match. That's stupid. That's ludicrous to even think. You know what I mean? I think you're going to have to get your sea legs back in order to be able to go out there and perform at a certain level. And it's not going to be your first match. That's just totally impossible, inconceivable for me to even think. But did it do the job that it needed to do? Yeah. People wasn't talking about CM Punk stunk the place up.
No.
That wasn't the headline. That wasn't, trending or anything like that. It wasn't trending. Also, man, CM Punk blew the house blew the roof off. And there again, it goes back to what you just said at the beginning of the show. It was about the show, all right? Because you had guys like Adam Cole, you had guys like Daniel Bryan, you had a whole host of guys, and at the end of the day, people was talking about the show, and to put that much pressure on one person to go out there, him and he only is the linchpin to if this show is a good show or not. I just don't think that would be right.
Yeah, but I think that you're right. I think he went out there. Look, it would have been hard to go out there and do anything better than what the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers did earlier that night. They set the bar too high for every other match that night, and I don't think anyone came close to it. I think that CM Punk went out there, and he did exactly what he needed to do. He needed to come out. One, he needed to look good. I love the long tights. I thought that was a smart choice by him. His body looked good. He was tan. He didn't look like he had aged significantly. His movements were fluid. Once he kind of, got going in the match, he had some good moments. And I will say this, he and Darby went out there and they did a match that as a commentator, if I were to look at it like a commentator, that's the kind of match that you want as a commentator. It had ebbs and flows. It had spots where you could, when he puts Darby in the abdominal stretch, all right, let me tell the story of this match. Let's talk about CM Punk being out for those years. He gave it room to breathe, and he just wasn't balls to the wall. I do think it wasn't the match that people expected. I think when you hear CM Punk, Darby Allin, you're thinking, oh, they're going to go nuts with high spots and this, that, and the third. I think it was a solid, old school, bigger man versus smaller man wrestling match. Punk kind of worked like a heel in some regard, right?
Yeah.
He worked like he was the heel of the match, which was an interesting choice.
I don't think so. I mean, Punk had to be smart about this first match, move very cautious. Everything had to be, done with precise and precision. He couldn't be rushing, thinking about the CM Punk of old and going out here and trying to do it like he did it, 7 years ago. Those thoughts definitely had to be something totally somewhere else in order to go out there and get the job done. And there again, I said it. The only thing you had to do was just be able to keep up. Be able to keep up. He played the heel role. The babyface was on Darby Allin. All he did was just keep up with Darby Allin, and everything turned out to be perfectly fine. Was it a perfect match? There again, in a lot of people's eyes, the CM Punk fans, they probably say, yeah, it was a perfect match. But for me, it was a match that they did everything that they needed to do on that night in order for, the people to be talking about what they were talking about on Monday morning, which was, man, that was a great show, all out AEW. So that's my point.
Well, going back to the theme, they played their role. They went out there and they played their role. They played their part. And and I thought that there were some cool spots in it, of course, whenever CM Punk did the go to sleep and Darby falls out of the ring. Some people said that was a callback to, I think, the Money in the Bank match. There was also the opening spot was a allusion to 1, 2, 3 Kid and Bret Hart. So there were some Easter eggs there for hardcore wrestling fans. So they satiated the audience that way as well. So I say it's a win. It's a win for Punk. It's a win for AEW.
Yeah, but let me be critical here for a second as well. Okay, not to blow anything up or anything. Like I said, Darby Allin wouldn't have been the person that I would have picked because at a certain time, Darby Allin was getting booed. And I think Darby Allin is the top babyface in the company. And when you got top babyface getting booed, I just didn't think that was a good look for me. other than that one thing right there, having Darby Allin play the role as the babyface, but not get the adulation as the babyface in the match. It's like working uphill, and I say that because when I worked, Kevin Nash in Canada for the first time, me being in Canada, and he came out, cut a promo, NWO for life, and I got booed out of the building when I came out, and I was like, "Whoa, hold on there, what the heck's going on here?" I had to totally switch from babyface to heel because I knew it wasn't going to be a good night. That's why I say that more than anything.
Yeah. I mean, I can agree with that, but the size difference, didn't Punk look massive?
I thought CM Punk looked as big as The Undertaker.
They could have built him at 7'2".
I'm serious.
He looked huge.
He could have easily been 305 pounds.
I mean, huge in a good way. Like, he looked big. Because you don't know what someone's going to look like, especially 7 years off. Who knows? But Punk definitely looked like CM Punk.
I mean, like I say, pulled it off. CM Punk's back. This is exactly what CM Punk has to offer in the future. Are there going to be, more great matches? We'll find out.
Well, we got to talk about that end of the pay-per-view, though, that had everybody talking.
Yeah. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
This is Booker T World Gym Arena in Texas City, the home to the Reality of Wrestling Training Center. It's a 20,000 square foot facility with more than 50 full-time students and wrestlers from around the world. Inside the World Gym Arena sits a 9,000 square foot venue set up for weekly shows.
From up top, 1-2 moonsault.
Where our students showcase their skills in front of a live audience.
What he's done here is awesome. He's created opportunity, and he's creating great talent, as you guys well know.
In the back, a full weight room.
6 up.
Complete with state-of-the-art equipment and personal trainers.
There you go. Two more.
A full staff and office personnel.
One more.
Running the day-to-day operation. We have interview sets for TV production, promo classes, quarterly combines. We evaluate progression and team building. Referees, commentators, ring announcers, and live television production. At the World Gym Arena, we don't just teach you how to become a professional wrestler, but an elite sports entertainer. This is Reality of Wrestling.
Boom!
We're back.
Welcome back inside Hall of Fame. Man, I want to thank everybody. I was just looking at some of the tweets, man. I want to thank everybody for repping Reality of Wrestling, and so happy about a deal with that we made here over the past couple of days. Getting Reality of Wrestling back on the road. Roll on the go, guys. So if you see it in your area, make sure you check it out. If it's on at a time where you might be sleeping, DVR it, baby. Just DVR. We need to click. Seriously. But again, I want to thank everybody for making this thing possible for Reality of Wrestling to step up to that next level.
Absolutely. And everybody watching right now, make sure you share, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button. It does a whole lot for us. Real quick, Book, before we talk about the ending of All Out, Cali Toenail with another
super chat.
He said, I wanted to know what was the moment. What was so special about it? I think he's talking about Tony Schiavone and Excalibur, talking about CM Punk and Darby facing off. I think it's just one of those things that it was a match that we never thought we would see, so it felt special.
No, that's what a commentator is supposed to do.
Yeah, they're supposed to put the moment over.
I mean, you promote the match, promote the show, promote the company. That's normally what a promo is, and that's all Tony Schiavone was doing, was creating a moment, creating an atmosphere, something that's shouldn't be be when you look at it, that nostalgic moment. Say, man, you guys remember that? You remember Punk, sitting across from Darby Allin? How cool was that? For the first time. Yeah, that's what a commentator is supposed to do. So I give Tony Schiavone props for doing a job. One thing about Tony Schiavone, I can say, man, he always used to make me look good. He always used to put Booker T over, calling my matches, and he was never biased or anything like that.
No, Shivani, you know what? The whole commentary team on Sunday did a good job too. I think, JR got some flack because he called Paul White the Big Show, but you saw us on the last time we did this show on Saturday. We called him Big Show like 40 times.
I just called Amanda. She's my student. Listen,
it happens.
Oh man, it happens, man. No, heck, like you said, we can stop calling Paul White Big Show.
Yeah, he's been Big Show for 20 years.
It's just something you gotta get used to. I'm sure JR has found it hard just not to say, WWE, Monday Night Raw, you know what I mean, that kind of stuff. So give the man some slack, as far as I'm concerned.
Give him props.
Yeah.
Okay. So the main event went down. First off, salute to Christian Cage. Salute to Kenny Omega. They went out there and they worked the main event style like they should for the world title. And I will say, I think the crowd by that point was a little bit like, man, we've seen a lot tonight. We've seen a lot. And there was this expectation that the show would end a certain way, right? And Kenny Omega wins, goes over, world champion, defends his title. And then he starts to cut a promo about how he's cleared out the division. There's nobody left for Kenny Omega and the Elite, right? And then the lights go out. People start to go crazy. The rumor, Daniel Bryan's coming in, right? That's the rumor. Lights go out. Lights come back on. Music hits. And it's Adam Cole, baby. Adam Cole walks out to a thunderous reaction. And everybody's thinking, oh, man, so this was the big surprise. They signed Adam Cole. Adam Cole was just on NXT like 2 weeks ago, right? He was just on NXT like 2 weeks ago. And he walks right into AEW at their biggest show ever, gets a huge Adam Cole, baby, from the crowd. And it looks like he's going to square up against Kenny Omega. And then as soon as he's about to throw that super kick, bam, he hits Jungle Boy right in the chin, knocks him out, hugs the rest of the Elite. And he goes from the ultimate babyface to the despicable heel in a matter of 3 seconds. And then you think, okay, that's how they're going to end the show. And then we hear Flight of the Valkyries and Bryan Danielson. Let me say that. Bryan Danielson makes his AEW debut and walks out. And you talk about old habits dying hard. When he was making his entrance and he was doing his thing down the ramp, he almost started to do the yes thing, and he just held his hands out. I don't know if you picked up on that.
What he did was he goes, I'll let you guys do it, but I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. Y'all could do it, not me. And Daniel Bryan comes out there. They clear house, stands tall, and they kind of position Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega moving forward. At least that's what it looks like for now. But what a hell of a way to go off the air. People were calling this show the greatest wrestling pay-per-view of all time. Now, I'm not going to go out on that ledge. I think that that's recency bias. However, I will say it had one of the most memorable endings in quite some time, right? Similar to SummerSlam when Brock comes out. That was a cool moment. This topped that for me with the double debut, surprise of Adam Cole, turns heel, and then Bryan comes out. That was a pretty special moment.
Nah, man. My boy D. Bryan. All I see, man, is AEW building a strong roster. I'm going to be talking about Mick Foley's comment. They're building a hell of a team, man. And a guy like Daniel Bryan, have a guy like that, talking with those guys in the locker room as far as, what do we have to go out here and do as far as winning. Man, he's a great guy to have on the team, man. I didn't see this coming. Honestly, the Adam Cole thing, I didn't see it coming. Well, actually, I didn't see it coming that quickly if he was to leave the company. Normally, these guys got a 90-day clause where they got to, can't compete or anything like that. Somebody dropped the ball. for something like that to be able to happen. As well as Daniel Bryan, boom, all of a sudden out of there and on AEW TV that quick. Yeah, man. Money making moves, man. Can't do anything but say, yeah, hell of a coup. And the war is getting it's getting bigger. It's getting bigger. It's gonna get faster. It's gonna be a whole lot more casualties along the way as well. That's just part of war. But me personally, I'm looking forward to seeing how this thing play out, man. I really am. I really am looking forward to seeing, what changes in NXT. I'm looking forward to seeing what changes, on the SmackDown roster as well as the Raw brand, because the punches are being thrown, man, and bombs are being dropped by AEW. I must say, I'm not going to sit here and say that right now that they don't have their fingers on the pulse of the wrestling world right now, and that's what it is, the wrestling world, man. They're letting people know that this is what this is it. I like this. And it's only going to get bigger.
Yeah, the Adam Cole thing, it was very reminiscent for me of almost like a Lex Luger moment, right? You saw Lex the week before on WWE, then he walks out on Monday Nitro in the Mall of America. I think and Adam Cole was able to do that because his contract was over. He fulfilled his obligation. So they didn't release him. So there wasn't a non-compete in that regard. And then Daniel Bryan, I think that Adam Cole's a massive coup. To get Daniel Bryan, though, the guy who literally just wrestled for the world title in the main event of WrestleMania, literally just did it. And the next time we see him, walks out on AEW television.
Not just that, though, Brad. A guy who really loved the hell out of this business.
Yeah.
He loves this stuff, man. He lives it. I mean, it's in his veins. And there again, man, the infrastructure, I talk about that all the time as far as building from the inside out opposed to the outside in. Right now, I see a lot of great matchups that could be made.
Oh, ton.
And the thing is, when you got enough guys where great matchups could be made, you got a show. And once you got a show, putting those pieces together to make it great, so at the end of the night, people are saying there again, I cannot wait to the next one. They have all of those things in place to actually be able to do that. You was talking about that earlier as far as when AEW first started. You didn't see that.
I didn't.
You didn't see it, being able to how long can this thing last with, just these few guys on the roster? I understand that. I see that. But I tell you, man, over this last, 2 years?
Yeah.
They've built a great roster, I must say, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this thing play out. We got a couple of super chats, man.
Yeah, let's try to get to him before the break. Cali Toenail.
Super chat.
When a car or bike gets smashed up, who pays for that? An agent said it's only covered if you're not out purposefully damaging it, and WWE definitely does it on purpose. I think that they can afford it. Callie, I think that they can foot the bill.
Exactly.
Vince himself's worth a couple billy. I think that. How much is the Camry? 22,000. Okay, yeah, smash that something gun up.
Run over it with a Hummer or whatever. That's just the way they are, man. I've always
tear that crap to pieces.
Just the way they are, man. That's way big companies like that are, man. Just write it off.
They write it off. Our next one.
Super chat.
Giannis says, more creative freedom for wrestler, or at least consulting them. Wouldn't that make a better product? Yeah, I think so. I think if they consult somebody on ideas for their character, it only makes them more invested and you get a different perspective.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. I think with the wrestler today, sometimes you got to know how to, get to them and get, go to. It's like with young guys. I always talk with young guys, and sometimes they may not be on my level, so I go down to their level to bring them up to my level. And normally it works out pretty well. These days, the talent in the wrestling world is totally different than it was back then. Information that I got in WWE when I was coming up. Man, the guys that was giving me that information, I trusted them. I said, man, man, this guy's been there. He's got to know. And then I would try it and it would work. And I go, okay. I don't know if today the guys are as knowledgeable as, the Pat Pattersons back in the day, the Blackjack Lanzas, back in the day. And those guys were so smart, teaching us young guys how to get to that next level. So I just think it can be done, but I just think it's going to be a great conglomeration of minds together in order to be able to get that done. One person can't get it done. And I say that because of reality of wrestling and the way I run it. Sometimes Brad comes with good ideas. Kevin comes with a good idea. And I say, let's run with it. You got to have an open mind in order to be successful. Hey, guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be right back. Stick around, guys.
And your question for the win. In The Insider, Al Pacino's character works on which TV show?
Is it 60 Minutes?
And your winner!
The Movie Trivia Schmodown, the most competitive movie trivia league in the world.
It's MMA or boxing. It's like you want to see the two best scrapping it out.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
2 points. Movie release date.
Wow.
Danny DeVito.
That's correct. You mother. The rising sun. And your winner.
Championships, factions, the best in the world play here.
I'm ready to schmo down. Throw down with the schmo down.
Kevin! This is why we play the Schmodown.
The professional sports league of movie trivia. This isn't bar trivia. This is the Movie Trivia Schmodown.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Talking a little AEW's All Out. But yeah, man, super chats. We got super chats we got to take care of real quick.
Yeah, let's do that. And then there's actually some breaking news that we can get to as well.
Super chat.
This is from Lee Jassenman. I did my best. I do apologize. Huge respect for Booker T. Been a fan since WCW 2000. Well, dope. We appreciate that.
We appreciate that. Yeah,
That's
I think
dope.
that was Leisure Sandman.
Legion Salmon. Well, you know what? You might be better than me.
Yeah.
You probably know better than I do. Here's another
super chat
from Vinesh Edge Persaud. I think they should have debuted Bryan and Cole on different TV nights, keep them apart. They took the spark away from Punk and wasn't as big a pop as expected. I don't know if I agree with it. Actually, I don't agree with it. I know that I don't agree with it.
It's like apples and oranges. The thing is, could they have done that? Yes.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
They could have did it. But I think getting all of the bang for the buck in one night, doing it that way, it's something different. Normally you want to wait and leak a little bit here, boom, give a little bit candy here. But I think in this situation right here, I think it's about letting the world know, hey, we finna crank this thing up, and it's going to be different than you have ever seen in a long time anyway. So I think I can't say it was wrong or anything like that. Could they have done it the other way? Yes, they could have. But I think, did they do it wrong by doing it this way? I don't think so.
No, and you know what? They did the right thing by really they built the show around the hype of CM Punk, wrestling again. Even Tony Khan earlier in the day, he tweeted this out, which you and I actually would love this. This is something that we can really get behind. He said, AEW All Out. Said you don't come here no more, but I said it's Phil, right? Referring to CM Punk being obviously Phil Brooks. I love that tweet from Tony Khan. But they built the show around it being CM Punk's return, and then they said, look, we got you here to see Punk, but look at all this other stuff we got. We got Ruby Soho making her debut. Yeah. We have Brian Danielson. We have Adam Cole. We have this. We have that. So I think that, and you know what I actually thought of, Book, when that happened? Because I literally said, man, that was a moment. And I think about your infamous words of once once the moment's there, you got to go for it. And once you lose out on that moment, you can never get it back. They couldn't have ever done that again.
No, I mean, that moment, I talk about the party. Remember I talked about the party Punk could have been having in Chicago. Now, if there wasn't a party at the end of the night with all those guys, you're not going to have a party. So I'm definitely looking for the moment and not missing out on that moment, because you miss out on that moment, poof, it could be gone forever. So take that moment when you got it, and I think they did a good job taking that moment. I think we got a couple more super chats.
Yeah, we have a lot more. K Copas says, I can't wait for Full Gear already, but I am still waiting to see how much more they build the AEW women's division.
Yeah,
I will say, adding Ruby Soho, Kiera Hogan, Diamante, Thunder Rosa, you got such a great core. Anna Jay, Ty Conti. You have a great core that you can build.
I think they got a great
Britt Baker.
I think they got a great core that they're building off of, but it's something that there again, just like the male roster, they're gonna have to build a female roster too, and it's not something that's going to be overnight. I think with there again, AEW is they're creating a feel to where when you watch it, you're watching somebody that you like. Somebody that you want to cheer for. So Ruby Soho, she's coming out. Boom, big pop, huge pop. I tell you what, she never got a pop like that in WWE. And the thing is, it just let me know how much people really want to see her, how much people really want to get behind her, how many people want to see her succeed and be successful in this business. And a lot of times, that's really what it's all about. I swear, and I say that because when I came back in 2012, I talked about the pop that I got. I talk about the pop that I received, coming back to the Rumble, and what, 2011? Yeah, I'm 2012. I skipped a year there, but I was like so happy that the fans appreciated me. That's what it was about more than anything. It wasn't about me going out there and winning that damn Rumble. Hell, I didn't even want to win it. But the pop was like, man, and they love me. I'm back. So to see that, it just lets you know, guys like Daniel Bryan, man, they're gonna love them. Guys like Adam Cole, man, we love seeing you do what you do. People like Ruby Soho, man, do your thing, and we'll support you. And I think that's what AEW has right now. More than anything, there's a lot of support from the fans out there wanting to see professional wrestling.
I agree. This is from Brett Farmer. I love what I'm seeing in AEW. However, I need to see officiating tighten up a bit, specifically in the tag division. Tag rope, length of time, untagged partner spins in the ring, etc. I don't disagree with you on that one. That one I don't disagree with you.
I don't disagree with him on that, Brett. But one thing about professional wrestling, it's not like MMA. It's not like Olympics. And one thing about AEW is they're changing the rules of professional wrestling as well as the game of professional wrestling as well. And when you got something like that, you got to go with your gut. And sometimes that might be the only thing you need.
Yeah, I agree. This is from M. Parker. It says, hey guys, are you shocked at AEW's growth after just 2 years and Tony Khan's respect for his wrestlers when he does interviews? I am surprised in the regard of I'm surprised in this way that they've been able to put together that talent roster that they have. If you asked me 2 years ago, are they going to have CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and Adam Cole all within 1 month of each other, and Ruby Soho? No, I wouldn't have thought that. I wouldn't have thought that in a million years. I got to say, you got to give a lot of props to all the AEW originals, like the guys who started there. You also got to give massive props to one man in particular. That man's name is Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho going over there really made a lot of people look, one, at AEW, but two, also look at the possibility of joining AEW. Hey, man, Chris is over there. He's killing it. This might be a good opportunity for us, right? Chris says he loves it. Best run he's ever had. Best pay he's ever had. Chris Jericho opened so many doors for that company. I truly believe when you go to TNT and you say, we have a wrestling company we want to put on television. Okay, well, who do you have? Well, we have the Young Bucks. Have you ever heard of them? Well, maybe. I don't know. Kenny Omega, big in Japan. Okay, yeah, maybe. That name sounds familiar. We have Chris Jericho. Oh, you have Chris Jericho. Okay. Well, now we're talking, right? You have star power behind it. So I say a large part of it is what they've been able to do in the ring, what Tony Khan's been able to put together. But I also think we got to give Chris Jericho his flowers on this one.
I don't know, man. The one person I give the flowers to is the guy who's writing the checks.
Tony Khan. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And the reason
But Vince wouldn't have been anything without Hogan.
No. And the reason I say that is Tony Khan is building his roster like the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's going out and he's spending money to get the best players to play that position.
Yeah.
And that right there is the word in that whole thing was he got enough money to pay those guys to put them in those positions. And that's what this thing is, that's what, the wrestling business, we haven't seen anything like this since, Turner, where guys were coming in, getting paid big money to do a certain thing, draw eyes from the other side. Okay. And let's grow this thing to be the biggest thing we want to take over. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. And for Tony Khan to have come out of his pocket, man, that let me know that these guys are serious, man. That's all it does. Just let me know that these guys are serious, and it ain't about playing second fiddle or anything like that. These guys are serious about winning this damn war. And WWE, and I consider myself a part of WWE, we got to get our ass in gear in order to combat this war. It's just that simple.
I don't disagree with that. This is from KJ. What was Sensational Sherry like as a manager? Did she help you in your early career?
Sherry was what I call the Harlem Heat's legitimizer. Okay, if it wasn't for Sister Sherry, I don't think you guys would have ever seen Harlem Heat rise to the point that we did. It just wouldn't have happened. Sister Sherry had been with all of the greats before she was with Harlem Heat, and she just did nothing but enhance Harlem Heat from day one. And I tell you, there wasn't a better person in the ring as well as out of the ring. I miss her.
And that's awesome. One more here from Kenneth Jackson. I somewhat watch AEW, but I'm more into WWE. Is WWE going into some type of new innovation with the update to the NXT and less wrestlers?
I don't know I don't know what he means by that. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Get up one more time.
Kenneth, if you can also clarify, that'd be great. Kenneth said, is WWE going in some type of new innovation with the update to NXT and less wrestlers?
I don't know what the update to NXT is all about. Honestly, I don't have anything to do with it. I'm waiting to see that, just like you guys are. As far as less wrestlers, I really don't know what that's about as well. As far as not, using independent wrestlers, I don't know. I don't know what the new strategy motive of operandi is. But
yeah,
like I just said a second ago, that we, as in WWE, got to get in gear because AEW is not going to slow down anytime soon. We talked about the comments Mick Foley made. I want to talk about those comments because I think it's a lot of validity to those comments that Mick Foley made. Guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
It's historic. Between these two. The top. Oh my goodness! An elbow and a forearm right to the face and another one, and that's a stunning elbow to the face. Oh, and look at this, she's just raking Angela's face across from suplex, superplex from the champion. If enough damage hasn't been done already to Angela, that has got to be the exclamation point. She's looking for the 450. From the top rope, she's calling for shooting star press. Shooting star press cover. 1, 2, 3.
Shoop. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Talking about the rise of AEW over these past 2 years of coming off of the AEW All Out pay-per-view this Sunday. And Mick Foley's comments, man. I don't know if you got those comments, Brad. Do you got those comments?
I can pull them. I can pull them at a smoke break. Super chatted $10 book. What's your take on Mick Foley's comments about the WWE? I will pull those up now so we can actually read them verbatim or maybe even play them.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here, I'm trying to find his the actual video, but Mick Foley was he was pretty critical, right? He was pretty critical of
he was critical in a constructive criticism way.
Yes. God, I'm trying to get his because I saw a video going around. Is that what you saw?
Yeah, I saw the video. I'm
trying to find the video for us here. But he was, critical, like you said, in a constructive way. Here we go. I'm going to share the screen now. So if you did not hear Mick Foley's comments regarding current goings on in the world of professional wrestling, here we go. This is what he had to say. And there it is right there.
Hello, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley. I'd like to title this video WWE, We've Got a Problem, because I think you do. And that problem is that WWE is no longer the place for talent to aspire to. Part of it is because AEW is doing a great job of attracting great talent, proven talent, building other talent, creating storylines, but part of it is a problem of your own making. I think younger talent sees the way that developmental characters are cut or left by the wayside, or in the case of Karrion Kross, greatly watered down and even made a joke of when they debut on the main roster. It's not broke. Don't fix it. If I was an aspiring talent now, big league talent with a major decision to make, I'm not sure that I would trust WWE Creative to do the right thing with my career. You guys did wonders with me back in the day. That was a different time, different place. If it was today, I'm not sure I would trust the powers to be with my career in their hands. And until that changes, WWE, you've got a problem.
All right, there it was. Those are the Hall of Famer Mick Foley's comments.
Hey, man, I can't not disagree with Mick Foley on anything. Smart dude. Very, very intelligent as well. And he knows his stuff. He's been there. He's done it. So coming from Mick Foley, you got to take it and say, okay, let me look into this. One thing also, wrestling and young people, how things change like so quickly. Just think about it. 20 years ago, UFC started, and from that point, kids were 5, 6, 7 years old. They was watching UFC. They gravitated to it. That's the only thing that they wanted to do, and it was something new to them. Right now, AEW is in its infancy stages, but you got a lot of young kids. The first time they're watching professional wrestling, the first wrestling they're seeing may not be WWE.
It might be AEW.
It may be AEW. And if you're not thinking about that kind of stuff, that kind of generational gap, you, like I say, might be missing the boat. And as far as what Mick Foley said, as far as the Karrion Kross thing, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. How many times have I said that?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's working, you don't touch it. You leave it alone. If you can enhance it, you enhance it and make it better. But you don't take anything away from it. That's just my opinion. So I don't know. I agree with Mick Foley 100%. We got to get our ass in gear. Bottom line.
Yeah, and I don't know if it makes or reaches the eyes or ears of people in your position, being a legend and a broadcaster for WWE, and even Mick Foley and a lot of the powers that be over there. But there is like an on-running joke amongst the fans community is when someone gets called up from NXT to the main roster, people also they don't say called up, they say, "Oh, you're getting called down to the main roster," right? Because of the track record of guys coming from NXT to the main roster, it doesn't really work. Something gets changed. The War Raiders become the Viking Experience, and Karrion Kross, who has all these badass qualities about him, they're all taken away, and they put him in a Savage King outfit that's ill-fitting at best, right? I mean, and I don't know. And here's the thing: at the end of the day, it's whoever it's not. Look, you're there to play a role on a show. It's not Karrion Kross's fault or any of the other performers that Mick Foley may have highlighted or you've highlighted. They're there to get their money and play their part. Some speak up, some don't. Some say, "Hey, this isn't my ship, so I'm just going to let them, do what they want with it or whatever." But it is a problem when I've heard people and seen people who are on the independent scene say, "Oh, no, I don't think I'd want to sign to WWE. I don't think that they treat me right." And that's not what you want to hear, being the preeminent promotion in the world. Because make no mistake, Impact, Ring of Honor, AEW, New Japan, reality wrestling for that matter, all quality places to be and learn your craft. However, there's still only one number one. There's one Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
There's one Disney.
Yeah.
It's the WWE.
And everybody want to have a chance at being a part of that that experience.
They should want it.
They should. That WrestleMania thing. Everyone should want that. But at the same time, I can only imagine if I knew I was ready to break out. And, because I look at Karrion Kross, I've always said, man, this guy, he's a grown ass man. He's a throwback. He's a guy that would have easily sat at the table with the giants of, the Attitude Era. And people would have looked at this guy and go, wow, he's the real deal. And to like you say, chip away from that, take anything away from that is definitely not the route. Let's just say I would go. Okay. And I can only speak from that perspective because it's not my stuff. You know what I mean? And I know people sometimes, they're looking for Booker T to say, man, this suck and that suck, but that's not my job to criticize, what the company that I work for is doing. I want to try to enhance what the guys in the company that I work for are doing in the ring. I want to be able to help as far as this war go. And I'm 100% sure Mick Foley does too.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure if Mick Foley didn't care about the direction, he wouldn't say a damn thing. All right. So when you hear that kind of talk, it's all because, we want this war to be healthy. We want it to be strong. And more importantly, damn it, we want to win.
A couple quick super chats I just want to read. This is from Sandman again, who says, with AEW, you really look forward to their pay-per-views. Their feuds feel special, storylines logical. WWE seems to be contrived and generic, which is a shame as their talent roster is stacked. I think when you run something for any amount of time, there are times where you will be stagnant and maybe creatively spent. But when you have somebody chasing you, you should be able to run faster.
Yeah. I don't think it's like the tortoise and the hare. It took a long time, for the tortoise to catch up.
Yeah.
But once he caught up,
it was over.
It was over, and I think that's what it is. I don't think it's been enough worry put into, what's going on, with those guys. I really don't. As well as thought process of the direction that they are taking the business. And I say that because NWO, the route they were taking the business at one point. I didn't think it was the right direction. I was like, man, this is something that can't be good. Man, somebody need to get together in a room, and we need to talk about this as far as how are we really going to utilize this NWO and still save the business. I think it's very important to keep your eye on that kind of stuff. If you don't, you totally can lose perspective on what these young guys are wanting today as far as their style of professional wrestling. See, we got a couple more super chats, man.
We got a couple more. We'll try to get to them all before break because there are some things that we still need to cover. Roland Curtis with $10 says, speaking of Tony Khan, whose war is this? Mr. McMahon is 76. Tony Khan is 30 freaking 8. Triple H is 52. Shane is 51. Steph is 44. Is this Vince war or Steph Triple H's? Should Vince retire? I think that your thinking is misguided here. The war is WWE versus AEW. It's not so much Vince. I don't think it's an age battle. No, it's a company battle.
Like I say, in a war, you got your generals, you got your captains, corporals, privates. And I think that's the route. The chief and the commander in chief. That's what he relies. He relies on his generals to go out there and have the right battle plan, the right game plan to win. And I think there again, like Brad just said, it's not about the boss against the boss. It's about the company versus the company, and having the right minds in place to actually make sure the company does the right thing to win every time, and that's the bottom line as far as that goes. So let's take one more super chat, man.
We'll take one more for the break. This is from Brett Farmer, who said, I think Mick Foley pointed out issues that have existed for a while. Look at Christian's first run in TNA. He should have been in the world title picture way before his run in TNA. Oh, yeah. So they're saying Christian should have been in the main event in WWE before he jumped over to TNA.
Yeah, you know what? And I can't disagree with that at all. I really can't. And sometimes, like I say, why things aren't done, I can't answer that question. But I do know the wrestling business has changed. I do know that WWE just can't sit back and produce a show and expect the fans to like it, because now they have something to compare it to. Okay, and we got to go all out as far as producing the best. No pun intended. The best Shakespeare we possibly can on a weekly basis. And damn it, that's 52 weeks out of the year. Guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. So the Young Bucks, I had heard about these guys, but I didn't know them or anything like that. And they had a WWE tryout. And these two guys, they were, hanging in the hallways. It seemed like they were, I don't know, they were kind of like off to themselves. I don't know. I don't know. It just felt funny. And I was getting ready to do I was doing commentating back then, and I had my jacket, laid over this, piece of equipment, and I walked by, and one of the Young Bucks was leaning on my jacket, and I was like, "Hey, bro, that's my jacket right there," and he goes, "Oh, okay," I got my jacket and I walked off, and I was like, I didn't realize it, but they were there for a tryout, and I was like, man, after I realized it, I said something on one of the podcasts or our show or something. These guys didn't even shake my hand, and then next thing you know, it was a big thing going around as far as me not shaking the Young Bucks' hand. And then they started doing a thing online where, they wouldn't shake anybody's hand, and then, they had a thing with RVD, where they wouldn't shake RVD's hand. So I was like, man, you know what I mean? These guys are taking this thing to another level. Can't wait to see them. So I wanted to fight the Young Bucks. I want to get it to them.
You wanted to put hands on them.
I want to put hands on them.
Put those Fifth Ward beads on them.
Yeah. And we ended up running into each other at an independent show. And I'm still a little bit hot, And, so we end up talking and whatnot, and we end up getting back around to what happened up in WWE as far as my jacket goes, and they go, bro, reason we didn't say anything to you, man, you're intimidating.
Sucker!
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We rolling, man. This is our last segment. But it's been a hell of a time giving you guys a little piece of the action, a little champagne, a little caviar dreams.
like
but yeah, let's
We-
keep it.
We do have some more super chats, but before we get to them, I do want to make sure that we make note of this story that just came out during our broadcast, and it's more sending our well wishes over. Triple H apparently had some sort of heart issue, some cardiac issue, and had a surgery procedure done. And this is what the statement by WWE said. Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, underwent a successful procedure at Yale New Haven Hospital following a cardiac event. This episode was caused by a genetic heart issue, and Paul is expected to make a complete and full recovery. So, wish our best to Triple H with that. You know, the heart definitely is that's an important muscle. It's an important muscle. So I'm glad that he was able to have it taken care of.
It's a stressful business too, bro. Stressful to have done it the way Vince McMahon have done it all of these years, man. I don't know how. It must just be one of those guys that just work under a hell of a lot of pressure, because to be there, I'm serious. Vince, I can't remember like back in the day him ever missing a week. Here the last couple of years, he's missed a day here, a day there. But back, in the day along, this ride with WWE, not missing a day, showing up at all the pay-per-views, whatnot, when you the boss, when you can sit at home and say, hey, man, take care of this, give me a phone call. It's amazing, man. It's amazing, but definitely a stressful pressure cooker situation. So hopefully Hunter get himself back together.
Yeah, just glad that he's expected to make a full recovery, but I wanted to make sure that we made note of that before we move on. Victor Vega Jr.
Super Chat.
And this is a great question. Why can't WWE work with other promotions? Build up stories 6 months in advance for a massive tournament like Wrestle Kingdom. Dream matches equal money. WWE has in the past done some stuff. They worked with New Japan for a moment. They worked with ECW for a moment. I think they did some stuff with, maybe they did with AAA. Maybe I'm wrong on the AAA stuff. Well, I remember Luchadors coming over. So maybe they did some with AAA or one of the Mexican promotions. But they seem to be very isolationalist, right? Nothing happens out of these four walls. Do you think that that's a smart strategy, or do you think that they would benefit from being able to work with other promotions like we've seen AEW working with Impact and New Japan and GCW?
I think contractually, it will be hard to do it over a long period of term with your roster. 1 or 2 guys, 3, 4 guys that you want to, change, use inner matches as far as whatnot. I don't know. That might work out, but having the whole roster work with, I can't see that happening. I just can't. I can't see WWE doing that. Even Reality of Wrestling, I can't see Reality of Wrestling working with another group long term, just because I'm trying to create my thing. These are my wrestlers. We're trying to create a storyline and go on this path and make sure our guys stay in this position because of. It's hard to do that when you're working with so many different groups. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna beat who?
Yeah,
it could be a can of worms trying to do something like that. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. AEW is doing it pretty well, working with Impact. But if you notice, just like I said, they're only working with Impact with like about 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only Christian and the Good Brothers.
And the one time they tried to do it with Sammy Guevara, it didn't work out.
Yeah, something happened with there.
Exactly.
I forgot what happened. Something happened. Something wasn't good. Ken terminated by DQ. Did you see my super chat, Booker Brad? No, we did not. Send it over again. Send it just a regular message, and we will definitely make sure that we get to that. Okay. Well, there you go. Well, Book, several things happening in the world of wrestling right now outside of AEW and WWE. Again, want to give a big shout out to everybody who supported our big announcement today. If you're just tuning in, Reality of Wrestling all across the country. I almost said across the world. Well, we are across the world.
Hey, when you look at when you on the internet, you are across the world.
You're everywhere. Hey, right now we have a lot of people watching live in the chat. We didn't do this at the beginning. Make sure you shout out where you're watching from, what city, what state, what country you're in. We always like to see that, just to see who's watching and where they're watching from. Always something real fun there. But Book, what else did you want to discuss? Was there anything? Let me ask you this. I don't know if you got to see all of All Out. Did you see the entire show, or were you only get a couple matches?
I just watched bits and pieces of it. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, man, I watched the whole thing. That's not what I do. I look at clips and see exactly, the good points, and look for, talk about, what people are talking about as far as, what they thought about it. I like to read a lot of comments. Because when I read the comments, it let me know, how people are, how much people really are digging what's going on. So I tell you, that's what I do with AEW more than anything. And I must say, just like Daniel Bryan said, man, those damn fans, man, they're rabid. They're rabid about AEW, and and no pun intended, man, but they are all in. And I swear, man, the comments are like, thousands of comments, and all of them are raving about how much they love AEW. So that right there tells me something, man. It tells me something.
Absolutely. And you know what? I also want to give a big shout out to, and we got people all over the world right now watching, but I want to give a big shout out to Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole. Also, very classy when they were asked about WWE in their post-match or post-game interviews. It'd been really easy for them to be like, I wasn't getting what I wanted over there. They didn't have any direction for me. But they both said, look, loved everyone I worked with, loved the time over there, had a great time. I just was ready to do something else. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that.
I got criticized for saying, Punk mentioned WWE. And you know what? Should I have said it? That's here nor there. But I just think when you've made millions of dollars with a company and you leave there, even if you left on bad terms, it's the past. I'm moving on. I ain't got time to be thinking about you guys. That's just me. As far as Daniel Bryan, in his comments and him saying, he loved Vince McMahon, and he loved that company. He still got friends there. But you damn fans, man, you the one. You're the reason. And that right there, I tell you, for a lot of guys, that's huge. Having that feeling, going out and performing, and not just loving what you do, but when you love what you do and you're having fun at the same time. That's why the era that I came up in, man, I think it was the best era. It was a blast. Was I having fun? Man, I was having a whole lot of damn fun, man. Like I said, I remember Charmel and I being in one of the hotels, I don't know where we were, England, wherever, and I'm looking down, over the hotel lobby, and we may be up, 16 floors, and the boys are just having so much fun. And me and Charmel are looking at them, they just, I think Eva Marie, like DDT, Matt Hardy or something that night. It was just crazy. It was just, everybody was drunk. And I was like, wow, baby, I was like, we living it up, man. How fun is this? That's what the business has always been, man. Guys going out there on the road, making some money, living out that dream, creating that legacy, and being able to walk away from it immortalized. That's what the business has always been.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that the last weekend, Sunday, like I said, it was just a good day for wrestling. Reality wrestling was awesome. In Dayton, Texas. Again, shout out to the mayor was there. I mean, how many times do you have a wrestling show and the mayor of the city comes by?
Hey, man.
Check it out.
Reality wrestling moving up, man. All you guys out there, like I said, all you young guys are just looking to be a part of something that's perhaps never stepped in the ring, never laced up a pair of boots. So many of my guys that have come to reality wrestling same situation. Never been in the ring, never laced a pair of boots up, and next thing you know, they're in ROH. Next thing you know, they're in WWE. Next thing you know, they're in AEW. So guys, go to realityofwrestling.com. Be a part of Reality of Wrestling because right now, Row is on the go. We're getting ready to make a stop somewhere in your town very, very soon, guys. And if you see it, make sure you come out and check it out. Make sure you support Reality of Wrestling, the best thing here on the Gulf Coast. But like Brad said, we coming to the world. We coming to the world. We coming to you guys. And we appreciate your support in Reality of Wrestling.
We're close to ending the show. We only have about 20-something seconds left, but real quick, last super chat of the day. Game Legend 100, do you think WWE is having a hard time building the next superstar that can lead the company? And then right after that, Raw needs to bring back the Hurt Business faction. They are currently wasting Cedric and Shelton. Your closing thoughts, 10 seconds or less, Booker.
You know what? I don't think you need to build the next superstar. He's out there. We just got to let him go. We just got to put him in the best position to go out there and win. The fans love these guys. All the WWE superstars, they come from that indie scene around the world where people push for them to get to this point. So we got the guy. It's just about giving that guy the ball and letting him score. Who that may be, we will find out in the near future. Guys, we appreciate y'all, man. We appreciate y'all for sticking out inside the Hall of Fame today, getting your champagne wishes, caviar, and dreams. We appreciate all the super chatters as well. And as always, Brad, I appreciate you, dog, for making everything, man. But right now, we up out of here.
Can you dig it, you sucker?